Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and I have one of the more insane decks that I've ever been asked to play. Before I talk about this deck, I just want to talk a little bit of Magic design theory. Card design and deck design both apply to these terms. Bottom-up design is when you have a mechanic and then you want to build around it, and the card file or the deck comes together around the original idea of the mechanic. Like Up the Beanstalk, for example. When we got that, we're like, okay, how do we put as many 5-drops and plus in our deck as possible without paying their full mana cost to do them? Bottom-up deck building. We're building around a mechanic. Top-down is when you have an idea and then you force it together with the tools that exist. Top-down card design, like Sarah Angel. Most of the cards in Alpha, actually. Angels, they're probably white-aligned. They certainly fly. They're always paying attention, so Vigilance makes sense. And then, you get Sarah Angel. This deck is a story in top-down deck building, where literally in my Discord channel, someone said the term DidgeriDoomsday one time, and Avocado went into the lab to try to make that into a thing. This is Avocado's DidgeriDoomsday, named for, of course, Didgeridoo. 1 mana artifact from Homelands. For 3, you could put a Minotaur from your hand onto the battlefield. And Doomsday, the busted combo engine when your deck supports it. And together, we get DidgeriDoomsday, a deck that is required to play Dark Ritual and Thassa's Oracle, and also a ton of Minotaurs. And together, we'll try to make some beautiful music here, coming out of our Didgeridoo. The first thing I'm going to do when talking about this deck is address the scam package. This wasn't in the list that Avocado originally sent me. There were 2 reanimates in the list to go with the Faithless Lootings, and you could get some big Minotaurs, or even normal Doomsday sometimes reanimates Thassa's Oracle as a second shot if their first Oracle gets answered. But I know that Rakdos expensive cards is not a plan in Legacy, but there are plenty of Legacy decks that stumble or fail when they get hit with 2 discard spells, enough that you can kind of do whatever you want and get something weirder set up. There were 2 Thoughtseize in the original list, bump that up to 4. There were 0 Grief in the original list, bump that up to 4. And I think in order to have any sort of competitive chance with this deck, we need to be disrupting our opponent early and often and give ourselves a chance to get some big dumb Minotaurs into play. Because once they show up, they're pretty powerful. Neheb can Wheel of Fortune you, and you get mana for each card you discard. Sethron makes extra Minotaurs and other Minotaurs enter the battlefield. And then there's a very expensive combat ability that you can also activate if you have lots of mana laying around. Morog and Battle Shaper are the 2 bangers. Morog is each creature gets +1/+0 for each time it attacked this turn, and landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures you control. This card has a little bit of weirdness to it because you have to do all your landfall in the second main, because the creatures untap at the start of your additional combat phases. So if you make your landfall in the first main, your creatures will all untap, then they can attack for the technically extra combat step, even though it's the first one that's occurred in the turn. But then they'll be tapped for the normal combat step, because normal combat steps don't untap all your creatures at the start of them. So you need to attack once, then go to your second main, and there you can play as many lands as you want. Like a fetch land is 2 additional combat phases and an additional +2/+0 for each of your attacking creatures. Just a weird little thing about this card. But this thing gets games over fast. Boros Battle Shaper. 5/5, at the start of each combat, up to 1 target creature attacks or blocks this combat if able, and up to 1 target creature can't attack or block this combat. If anyone has watched my previous Legacy Didgeridoo outings, they know Boros Battle Shaper is an absolute unit, controls the battlefield like crazy. It's a removal spell, it's a pacifism. straight up dumpsters Emrakul. This card is messed up. However, it does cost 7, and a color that the deck does not make outside of Lotus Petal. We're going to need to didgeridoo this guy. That's the didgeridoo package. Also, Urza Saga can tutor the didgeridoo. Plus, we're just a Saga deck, so if things are dragging on, we can start making constructs and go tall that way. And then the actual Doomsday package. This is the weakest part of the deck. There's not a lot of Doomsday pile synergy that can be achieved here. I could have just put 4 Street Wraiths in the deck, but I think that makes the deck so bad on all of its other fronts that it's hard to justify. We can use Faithless Looting to accelerate the pile a little bit. Troll of Khazad-dûm and or a fetch land can get an extra card out because you put Polluted Delta and Swamp in the pile. You fetch, you clear a card. You can work through this pile in 1 or 2 turns, but I don't believe the deck's capable of winning on the turn of Doomsdays. And depending on when this happens in the game, when your Doomsday happens, I don't think a turn 1 pile would work, but if you have like a turn 3 Doomsday, I think it's possible to stack Didgeridoo on top and then put a couple of scary Minotaurs under it, and then Thassa's Oracle at the bottom. So you force your opponent into scary combat situations and then Oracle them when it's all over. I don't know. It's a little bit of a mess, but top-down design from an insane word that was just said randomly in my Discord, and that's where we are. Let's get into this. This is DidgeriDoomsday. The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is now available for pre-order through Coalesce Apparel and will release in early December. These will sell out and take time to restock. The holidays are coming up fast. Place your pre-orders for yourself and the BoshNRoll fans in your life today. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market with awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll at checkout for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. I'm on the draw in round 1, and my hand, honestly, if this hand had a Thoughtseize in it, I would consider it. No disruption. If it had the Faithless Looting, I would keep it. But I'm down to 1 of those. That card's just not very good if you're not comboing off with it. It's just kind of part of a Doomsday pile, but not really part of the game plan. Opponent asked, is this real life? I said, barely. My deck is ridiculous. And they asked me to tear their gameplay apart, and they said they're a big fan. Well, I'm sorry I can't give you a more real experience here. Okay, actually, this hand is solid. I'm going to bottom Thassa's Oracle. I have Thoughtseize into Didgeridoo, and if I find a mana source at any point here, where the Fury of Akum will be upon us. And I think I do fetch basic Swamp here. Oh, okay. Thoughtseize is still better than Grief. I do the same thing for 1 card instead of 2. Basic Swamp, Thoughtseize. Oh dear. Okay, a Braid, March of Otherworldly Light. Oh no, 2 answers to Didgeridoo? This is an outrage. But my opponent and I are clearly on the same wavelength here. Search a library for a Plains, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. And a Braid. I'm so mad about this. Disappointed. How many basic lands? Oh no, I only have 1 and this Demolition Field's gonna get me? Wow. Okay. I am unlikely to function in this game. They don't currently have red, so I think I have to leave them with the Abrade and take the March. Okay. Bummer. Okay, if I can draw a black card to grief the Abrade and get the Didgeridoo in, then it's just a matter of drawing... Oh, Talisman of Conviction. Okay, we got some Boros control over there. This is great. This is actually the perfect pairing for the deck I've chosen to register today. If I play the Badlands, I just lose it. And it fixes their colors, but they just have this thing. Getting Jura. Getting a Jura beats my... Oh no. I wish this was a normal Legacy deck. Alright, I'm going to play the Badlands and pass. At least I can make them put resources into demo field, I guess. Oh no, Comet Stellar Pup. They're just doing it over there. Teeing off on me. They rolled a 5. Okay. And that's the shitty ability. That's the one I'm always worried about hitting on an empty board, because you don't put Lava Axe in decks. Oh, guess what just happened? Okay. I can put a Minotaur into play at instant speed, at will. None of these have haste. Alright, I'm going to run the Didgeridoo out and pass the turn. Oh yeah, opponent recognizes what's going on here now. Nobody's acting normal. Comet. Oh no, it's sixed. Why would it six right now? Don't do this to me. Oh no, the extra ability was a 6. Jesus, we're just gonna get commented out. Okay, it shot me for damage. Shot me for damage. Now it's at 4. And, well, or I'm at 4. It's at 1. And it shot me for 1. Okay, it just offed itself, but it did do 1,000 damage on the way out. I just did like, what, 16, 17 damage? That was awesome. But it's dead. Okay, they are demo fielding me. I would like to use the ability, even though I, sadly, like a coward, played around Wasteland and played into demo field, which I think is reasonable. I'm not going to feel bad about that. Now they abrade, and I shove a Minotaur into play. Dark Rid in response. I think Morog is better than Battle Shaper on this situation. There he is. Okay, if I draw a fetch land, I can do some serious damage this turn. Fetch land, fetch land, fetch land, fetch land. Oh my goodness, just a regular land. Still a lot of damage though. Attack you for 7. And then Underground Sea creates a combat step that we go to right now. They have 3 cards in their hand. Gideon destroys a tapped creature. If they have a land in their hand to play Gideon, Morag is just dead. I could leave him untapped, but then Gideon can plus, and I haven't actually solved my problem. I'm just going to hope they don't have the mana for Gideon here. Fire for 8, put them to dead on board, and hope for the best. If that was just a fetch land. Okay, please don't have the land right now. Path to Exile, oh no! I don't have any basics, and you know it. Okay. Opponent's on the run you out of basic strat, which is going to work. And at this point, I kind of have to pivot onto Doomsday, because my Minotaur land is completely bricked. Okay, you may discard a card. When you do, return target permanent with mana value 2 or less from graveyard to the battlefield tap. They could get Demo Field back, and then this becomes a 3/4 on the backside. I think I lose. The fetch land, if only you were here last turn. Alright, I'm good. We're dead. They can play Gideon next turn, and I can't Doomsday from there. Turns out my opponent is perfectly metagamed for DidgeriDoomsday. Not words I thought I'd speak in my life, but here we are. Fury can challenge various planeswalkers and creatures and junk. Childred is just a solid body I could put into play. Or I could just focus on trying to go way over the top and scam jam and DidgeriDoomsday this Boros control deck now that I know what they're doing. I don't need Soul Guide Lantern. I can at least make that into Shadow Spear. Or is Shadow Spear better than Fury? I don't think so. Fury. I think I want to shave a Battle Shaper for another Fury. Pithing Needle does name Demo Field or Wasteland or Gideon Jura. Maybe this is a Pithing Needle matchup. I think I shave a Doomsday to make room for that. Okay, yeah, I think in this matchup particularly, Didgeridoo is better than the Doomsday part of the deck. Oof. This is a Thoughtseize and a second land, and I can Pithing Needle something. I gotta jam harder than this, though. This one doesn't disrupt, but I am going to keep it. I'll put this Polluted Delta back into my deck. Is that where I want to be? Yeah, I think so. I want a fetch land density, a critical fetch land density to remain in my deck. Because that last game, despite how hilariously awful it went, it still came down to just drawing not a fetch land on the turn where it mattered. Okay, I was about to say I will pitch any black card to Griefier, and Reanimate certainly qualifies. Griefia. Right now, before the Abrades come online. Oh my goodness. This opponent is not losing to creatures today. Which is bad news for me, because that's all I got. Path Plow Wrath. Restoration of Aganjo. I'm going to take the March, because that's the one that can remove my Didgeridoo and my Urza Saga. Okay, so I think I'm going to be letting Urza Saga run its course, do the full construct operation, and then do Didgeridoo related activities at the end. Oh, that was a good draw. Oh, there's the Doomsday. That's interesting. I'm going to fetch Badlands, and I can Sethron or Urza Saga, and I think I have to Saga for the reasons I just described. I got to work through this wall of creature removal real hard. Restoration of Aganjo, Tutors of Plains. I've left my basic in the deck, and if they have to Path to Exile me at any point, that will turn on Doomsday. Ooh, Morog. Okay. If I can get enough power and toughness into play that the Wrath of God is too slow, and they have 2 instant speed spot removal spells. All right, there's the Plow. That's fine. Get another Construct, and does Pithing Needle do anything here? Do I need the Lotus Petal just to pretend I'm playing the game? I think I do, actually. That's tough. Okay, grab the Lotus Petal, and I will pass the turn. A land is my best draw now. If I could just start activating Didgeridoo or threatening Doomsday on every turn instead of just once, that would be nice. I found a mountain. Stony Silence, come on! Thought we were gonna be friends. Okay, well, I think that'll end the game. If I draw a swamp right now, I can fire the Doomsday. All right, I'm gonna begin my beatdown here. Okay, they fired the path. Good, good, good. This is the only way I can win this game. They just gave me black number 3. I could Doomsday next turn and try to string it together from there. I actually need the Doomsday win now because creatures are just not viable. They have a 3/4. When it attacks, they get another. Okay. Gideon, shit. This attacks as a 6/6. The Doomsday will put me to 10, and then they crunch me for 9. Oh no. I don't know that I can do this from 1. Alright, well, that was a solid series of draws. Stony Silence turning up Didgeridoo into Gideon Jura, adding pressure. I think I could have won this game without Gideon adding to the pressure. Okay, Faithless Looting has to be in the pile. And I guess it just has to be. So I draw Faithless Looting. There's 4 cards in my deck. Alright, it has to be Underground Sea, Thassa's Oracle, and then just 2 other random cards. I can do this with exactly 2 cards in my deck. Alright, I'm dead if it doesn't work, so I'm just going to pick some random shit here. Is there anything that could possibly matter? No. Alright, I'll just put 2 Dark Rituals in there too. It just doesn't matter. So Looting draws Oracle Sea. Oracle. Hope it's good. Ritual, Ritual. Oracle, Sea, Looting. Okay, the Wrath of God in their hand does not stabilize this. I actually am threatening to win right now. This isn't attacking, is it? No, it just creates it. All right. F6, please do not find 1 extra piece of damage or a wasteland here. All right, Gideon is a 6/6. I'm going a 1. Okay, don't do it. Don't do it to me. This removal spell kills me too, because I'll have 0 devotion. Okay. I'm getting to shoot my shot here. Faithless Looting. Discard Battle Shaper and Morog. Okay. Don't do it to me. Here we go. Here we go. Exaxes. The trigger's on the stack. No! Why? 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 Why did you just draw a land 1 time? Okay, now we lose. At least I could present that win, and if any of these random cards were black, I could have griefed that Plow out of their hand. Son of a biscuit. Yeah, the Stony Silence into Gideon, into Plow, in that order. Even if these same 3 cards show up in any other order, I win this game. Tough beats. GG's, though. The DidgeriDoomsday made a run out of it. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 2. No lands here. Gonna mulligan this. Alright, I mean, I have a grief scam. Count it. I'll keep this and put... The question is between Morog and Sethron. Sethron's more castable, but Moron's better if I Didgeridoo. Castable's just really generous anyway. I'll put Morog away. And I'm just gonna grief scam them. Pitch a Doomsday. My opponent sees grief pitching Doomsday. They know they're in trouble, but they don't actually know. Dreadnought Emrakul, Force of Will. Preordained Show and Tell. Interesting. Wow, if I had kept the Morog, Show and Tell, I might be able to just beat them in combat. Sucks this isn't Grizzlebrand. Then I could reanimate it. Okay, they have Force of Will, though. Do I think they're going to force my reanimate? Can I win if they do? Probably not. So I guess I just have to force this or take this Force of Will. And then I'll reanimate and take probably the Show and Tell. And taking the Ponder is tempting because they're on this one lander over there. But if they draw an Ancient Tomb, I lose. And I can't take them off cantrips entirely. Yeah, I'll just take the Show and Tell. And pass the turn. I don't think this Grief's going to do 21. Hoping for some kind of follow-up anywhere here. They are pondering rather than preordaining. That does see more cards. Let's see a shuffle. I want to see a shuffle, then I want to see a bottom on preordained next turn, and no land drop past the turn. That's what I need out of life here. They chose to shuffle. Good news. Where's the Saga? Alright, I'll take a land. Not going to complain about that. Alright, attacking with my Grief. Actually, if they Show and Tell, and I put in Sethron makes it 2/3. And the combat flavor text, I have exactly 3 mana to give my Minotaurs +1/+0 and Menace. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Menace. If they don't put it together quick, I might actually be able to race an Emrakul. I'm also 1 mana away from casting Sethron now, which is awesome. Okay, I have to hope they don't have it this turn. They top-bottomed the Preordain and then successfully hit a land drop. I'm actually not worried about Dreadnought that much. Okay, they have 3 mana, but they didn't Show and Tell. I can cast Neheb. You're in trouble. Attack for 3. Now I'll reveal my deepest secrets. Underground Sea, Lotus Petal, Neheb. We're in there. You ready for my Zombie Warrior Minotaur? This is exactly the game state I was talking about when I said some Legacy decks just don't work if you Thoughtseize them twice. Okay, they're going to get a Dreadnought into play here. Grief can keep cracking around that. They're actually just dead if they Show and Tell, if they don't have Omniscience to go with it. Preordain. Oh, if they have 2 Dreadnoughts, that's actually bad. Bottom the Preordain. There's 1 Dreadnought. Ah! Okay. I think we lose now. Thoughtseize right on time. Piece of crap. Hey, this is 24 trample. If I block 4 of it, I still take 20. Even if I block with everything, I'm dead. Alright. Bummer! Should have left them with the Show and Tell and took the Dreadnought. Pyroblast comes in here. Shieldred comes in here. All the discard is essential. Soul Guide Lantern, not important here. Boros Battleshaper, insane to get Show and Tell. Definitely not cutting that. If I cut in Neheb, a Sethron, and a Lotus Petal, that's 4. Shieldred's still not in the deck. Maybe she doesn't need to be. Alright, yeah, just Pyroblast, and go for it. I have a Lotus Petal. Okay, what does this hand actually do? It's risky. I can... I'm 1 black card short of Thoughtseize Grief Reanimate. I do have a turn 1 Grief Scam, but no land even followed up with. I'm going to mulligan this. There's the Grief, but not the Scam. Urza Saga doesn't help me. Uh-oh, going to 5. This is the best hand we've seen yet. Keep it, bottom, a Underground Sea, and a Dark Ritual. I could turn 1 Grief, hardcast, but I'd rather turn 2 Grief and set up my Saga. It's Polluted Delta Pass here. Don't like this tropical island. It represents Veil of Summer. We get Badlands and Dark Ritual and cast Grief. At least it's a body if they Veil me. Yep. Obviously, that is just a commonly played card in the metagame, and it is a reason to be on the deck that you're on. These blue-green Show and Tell decks, they are good compared to other options because they get the main deck Veil of Summer in large numbers. It just counters everything your deck cares about. I'm rooting for a Brainstorm lock here. That's my out. Mosswort Bridge. Uh-oh. They're Aeon Bridge. I'm so excited. I love this deck. Hey, there's Sethron. It's nice to draw a Minotaur because I'm going to tutor Didgeridoo next turn. Oh, I'm going to get Aeon Bridged here, though. All right, yeah, we're dead. They're going to flip an Emrakul out of this Mosswort Bridge while Dreadnought's in play. Yep, okay. Well, that was the perfect draw. Veil of Summer to protect into turn 3. Goldfish. Yep, solid. On to the next round. Though, I got to point out that game 1 was pretty close. If they only had 1 Dreadnought instead of 2, or if my Minotaur was Boros Battle Shaper. These are 2 rounds in a row where it was like weirdly close considering I'm playing a deck that is preposterous. If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event. I am on the play with 2 Thoughtseize to reanimate. Honestly, among the range of hands this deck has, I think this is one of the better ones. Like, if they have any creature in their hand, it's mine. And let's see what they're cooking with. Craterhoof Behemoth, Allosaur Shepherd, Ignoble Hierarch. I can take the Ignoble now, reanimate it next turn, and then Thoughtseize reanimate Hoof on the following turn. And that's like kind of something resembling a game plan. Alright, I'm taking this Hierarch. They do have Bajuka Bog in their hand. If they just bog themselves, that would be pretty heads up. But also just not a good play. Because you don't get the Zenith for Arbor in that world. Opponent just clicked through their entire turn without playing a land or a spell. That's interesting. Can't imagine that was intentional. Do I want Ignoble Hierarch? And I do. Yes. Okay. I'm going to play my Badlands and reanimate your Ignoble. This just makes Hoof better next turn. And I'm not going to Thoughtseize now. They just didn't do anything. There's the Windswept Heath. Okay. We got a free Time Walk out of our opponent for reasons unknown. Still may or may not actually matter in the grand scheme of things, but I'm having a good time right now. Ooh, I could hardcast Grief and have an even better Hoof on next turn. Yeah, that's the play. Hardcast Grief, Orcish Bowmaster, Craterhoof Behemoth. I'm going to take Orcish Bowmasters and pass the turn. If they do have the heads up thought of bogging themselves because they've seen Reanimate and they have an X1 creature in play, then the Thoughtseize Reanimate going for the Hoof is what I'm actually after here. Yeah, look at that. 1000 IQ shit. There's Ranger. There's the Shep. And there's Doomsday. That's great. Okay, Thoughtseize you. I am going to take 10 from this line. Craterhoof Behemoth. Reanimate it. I don't even think this is good, but boy, is it funny. Their hand is Bayou Elvish Spirit Guide. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana to activate Shep with. They have 8, 14, 15, 16, 17. They're not dead. Oh, wait, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Untap this 6. They actually have a lethal backswing with Shepherd activation. So I do have to show some restraint here. Leave a creature back to block with. And I'm thinking if I want to play this Delta, because if I draw Faithless Looting, I'm going to want some stuff to pad out the looting, but there's only one of those. I'll just play my land. Okay, I'm at 7. They can make 2 5/5s if they go all in to do it. All right, just casting Spirit Guide. That's cool. Deal. That is an elf, though, for an even bigger attack next turn. I think this is the kind of position where I fetch to thin. I can't get Morog into play. 6 life is kind of meaningfully different than 7. Okay, I am not going to fetch, actually. Oh, I drew Morog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm short. Okay, if I attack with Grief and Hoof, they have to block Hoof. If I attack with Grief also, they can just go to 2. Or is Grief the better attacker? Because it has Menace. I can put them to 1 and still have 2 blockers back. Yeah, I think Grief is the one. I don't want to let them just have free money on Dryad Arbor. This is going to cost you 2 creatures if you want to interact with it. And because I didn't fetch, I'm not that on board. Okay, still no attacks. If I draw Dark Ritual, I win. Oh, Neheb, hello, more creatures. Okay, now everything is must block, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, unless they drew another Spirit Guide. But even if they did, they're going to lose something here. Okay, Grief and Hoof are both must blocks, and Grief has Menace, so this is big money here. Oh no, if they Bowmaster for multiple blocks, Endurance. Okay. That is a big body. They still have to put 2 things in front of Grief, which will remove 1 elf from play. Okay, I remove Elvish Spirit Guide from the situation. They pick up the Dryad Arbor, that's fine. Am I dead? Well, the Dryad Arbor is out now, so they're not even close to... They'd have to rip Cradle to activate Shep here. I think I just play my 5-4. Underground Sea, Neheb. Oh yeah! A game that was up to this point reasonable has just become insane. And Neheb has Trample. A little more evasion added to this board where I just need to get 1 point across. Even if they do draw Cradle, I could block the 2 elves. They can't natural order here. Oh no, they can Grist to kill my powerful Neheb. Disappointing. Okay, the mighty Neheb is gone. And they have an infinity blocker. Oh no, I'm in trouble. They sacked the correct creature. If they attack here with both of these, I can go to 2 with Noble still in, or Ignoble Hierarch still in play, or I can go to 5. So if I go to 5, if I block Endurance, go to 5 off the Query Dryad, Doomsday puts me to 2, which still kills me through the Crater Hoof blocker. Son of a biscuit. Okay, I am going to go to 2 here and hope that I can get Morog into play before I'm dead. Reanimate at 2 life, awesome. And I could get the Spirit Guide. This just has me hard locked, unfortunately. It's too late for anything else. If I Doomsday, I just reveal my deck. Got Endurance into Grist, what a tilt. I can attack with Ignoble Hierarch, and it's the same forced block, but I have a better defense. Yeah, I like that's actually cool. Attack my opponent with Ignoble Hierarch. You're still at 1. If I reanimate the Shep, I'm at 1, dead to everything for the rest of the game. And they have Grist in play. I only have 1 green mana and only 1 elf, and this doesn't grant trample. I think this reanimates just a brick here. Next turn, Grist can kill another thing. Though, reanimating Allosaurus Shepherd gives me another lethal attacker, but Grist just makes a free idiot. Do I have any removal in my main deck? Not really. Okay, I'm going to reanimate the Shep. Go to 1. Grist. Hit an insect? Give me a break. I already couldn't beat 1 insect, and you got 2 just randomly. This is not the day for my opponents to run hot as the sun. My deck is already barely functional. Take it easy over there. The 4th reanimate. All right. Well, that was exciting, but they did figure it out through a series of drawing exactly what they needed every turn. Okay, Shadow Spear's coming in here. Soul Guide Lantern doesn't matter. Fury, get in my belly for sure. I don't think I care about Pithing Needle. Shoulder it is reach as well. Boros Battle Shaper would have won that game if it was in play somehow. I mean, you know. Okay, I think I'm going to shave some Doomsdays because this is the half of the deck that matters. Do I just go all the way off Doomsday? Do I just play Minotaur Stompy here? Basically, what that would mean is I cut Doomsday and Thassa's Oracle, and I get 2 other cards. And now I'm just DidgeriScam, which seems like a better deck for the matchup, honestly. Soul Guide Lantern at least cantrips. Okay, I am going to go DidgeriScam. We saw Endurance in their main deck, and we showed them a bunch of reanimates, so I don't think we're going to get away with that. Okay, keep this hand, aka the nuts. Turn 2 Boros Battle Shaper. Take a seat, nerd. Opponent's on 7. Let's didgeridoo it. Pitched Elvish Spirit Guide for Noble Hierarch. Powerful double spell start. Thoughtseize, that's worse than Battle Shaper. Please don't force a figure me right now. That would be devastating. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to pass the turn, threatening a Dig. This is awkward. Both the creatures are mana dorks. Like, they can't actually... I can't force them to attack. So I have to hope they just do it on their own. Elvish Reclaimer. And, of course, they did not do it on their own. Why would they? And I think I actually lead on Sethron here, because it's more Minotaurs. And then if I draw a land, Battle Shaper is more Minotaurs again. My best draw is Dark Ritual. Then I can Thoughtseize them and Didgeridoo. But I would take any mana source here. Reanimate, sure. Thoughtseize you. Endurance and 2 Natural Orders. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can cast Natural Order next turn, and I can't stop it from happening. I can at least take this Endurance and play Soul Guide Lantern. Exile my Thoughtseize, I guess, because I want their Endurance in the graveyard. And I can't tell if I'm dead. I'm just going to wait, because next turn I can tutor the other Lotus Petal, at minimum put Battle Shaper in, and then we're doing stuff, maybe. If they have an Atraxa, they can reload, and I'm going to have to Battle Shape that for the rest of the game, though at least I do have that option. I'm not dead to Hoof here, but Natural Order into more Natural Order is pretty fucked. Maybe I was supposed to take the Natural Order, just so they couldn't have two. Okay, Snuff Out, cool, a removal spell. Alright, I can't win. I made a run at it, and that's the end of that. That game won, once again, three matches in a row where I actually presented a reasonable Legacy game plan, and my opponent, after I saw their hand, had 2 or 3 perfect cards in a row, which is magic. I'm not complaining. I'm just proud of how close we are to winning a game with this deck. None of these have been complete slaughters. The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is now available for pre-order through Coalesce Apparel and will release in early December. These will sell out and take time to restock. The holidays are coming up fast. Place your pre-orders for yourself and the BoshNRoll fans in your life today. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market, with awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll at checkout for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. I'm on the draw in round number 4. My hand is a black card short of doing everything I want, but I do have Didgeridoo into Dark Ritual. I'm going to keep this. It has things. It's got some outside draws, as we say. Oh shit, not anymore, it doesn't. Imagine duressing your opponent and seeing this. I imagine we lose the Dark Ritual here. Yep. No respect for the Didge. Okay, bad lands. I'm going to grief them, because if they have duress in their main deck, they're a combo deck. Okay, it's Black Saga Storm with 4 baubles in their hand. Well, good job not bobbling into my grief. Successfully hid your information from me. Drop the Didge, and hope that we're still playing the game by the time I get to 3 mana. In the strong tradition of opponents drawing the best card in their deck immediately after I Thoughtseize them, we're almost certainly dead next turn now that they have access to Wishclaw. You know, honestly, if I have to live in a world where every opponent is going to draw exactly what they need at all times, I'd prefer to do it with a deck that was unlikely to win any matches anyway. So scoreboard, nerd. You thought you had me, but I had you. And they stacked their baubles correctly, so Reanimate's barely even good here. They have 1 card in their hand, and I'm still going to reanimate the thing I can do. I took another Wishclaw. At least that was a good hit. Now I need to draw a land and get the Didge going. That's how this game ends up going my way. It was pretty smart not to dump out the baubles on turn 1. That was a really cool play. That makes it look like they have a 5-card hand that's worth griefing, but they actually don't. Like, if they just play 4 baubles and have 1 card in their hand, do I even grief them? Dark Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond. Those were 2 of the draws, so they can certainly Nause here, if not better. If they have a Peer into the Abyss or a Beseech. Well, they can't Beseech with the mana they have. Ad nauseum. Okay. Have fun over there. Do your thing. They got red in the pool. Lotus Petal Dark Ritual. They can filter that into black now. Tendrils in their hand. Yep, we're dead. I'm cool. You can stop. Mindbreak Trap coming in. Shieldred comes in here. Not a lot of sideboard for this. They're not really heavy on the graveyard stuff. Unfortunately, Boros Battle Shaper. Combat is not part of this matchup. Shadow Spear Pithing Needle could be Boros Battle Shaper out. Shadow Spear could just gain me life if we get into a scrappy situation, and Pithing Needle on Wishclaw Talisman is actually meaningful against their deck. Soul Guide Lantern's gone. And this is a plan. This is not it. The old 4-5-6 curve. Mulligan. Okay. I'm going to keep this. And I'm going to bottom Setheron. Leyline of the Void, okay. I have 2 options here. I can grief them pitching Dark Ritual this turn, and then Dark Ritual out, grief Hardcast next turn. I think that disrupts them the most while doing the most. The alternative is just Dark Ritual out of Grief now. Yeah, I'm going to Grief Pitching Ritual, Opal, Bauble, and 2 Sagas. Okay. I'm going to take the Bauble. I'd rather them have mana than more cards. Swamp, Opal, and I am going to fetch. I'll get an Underground Sea, start setting up that Doomsday pivot. Hello? Well, well, well. Dark Ritual, Doomsday. Okay, I'm going to set up the line. We've got Faithless Looting, Thassa's Oracle, Underground Sea. Does this even work? No, because I have 1 card in my hand and Faithless Looting is a terrible magic card. Alright, so I have to wait a turn. How does waiting a turn work? Because I draw for turn and my hand is Grief Faithless Looting. I cast Faithless Looting, I draw Underground Sea, Thassa's Oracle, I have to discard 2 of them. Bad deal. Just got so excited. I think I put Mindbreak Trap on the top of the pile. And then I do Faithless Looting, Oracle, Fetchland, Underground Sea. Then I can get all the way empty. Fetchland, Underground Sea. Just going to look at this for a second and try to decide. I draw Mindbreak Trap. That protects me from them comboing off next turn. And if I don't have to play it, then I just loot it away. I think this makes sense. Sea on the bottom, Bloodstained Mire under it, Thassa's Oracle, Faithless Looting, Mindbreak Trap. Pass the turn. I hope the Juke does it here. Their hand is 2 Urza Sagas of Swamp and whatever they drew last turn. Thought Seizing my Grief. Okay, so now Faithless Looting will never work, and I just have to draw through this pile naturally. Floating this Mindbreak Trap, though. They played a Swamp. Wishclaw. There's the looting that I can't play, ever. Next turn, I'm drawing the Oracle. Kind of hate that, actually. Maybe I was supposed to stack the land over the Oracle, just in case they Thoughtseized me. Then I don't lose my Oracle to Thoughtseize. Dark Ritual, that's 1 spell. Urza Saga. Bobble the top of my deck. They see the Thassa's Oracle here. Yeah, they can Nause here with only 1 spell cast before it. Helm of Obedience, or I'm just gone. Yep, they found a line with the correct number of spells. Alright. Another close one. No one can say that we were not within a whisper of winning through various things. Like, if they didn't have Thoughtseize last turn, I actually would have beat them before this album came in. We're so close. Maybe one more. Fighting off the reverse trophy here. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play in the final round. This is a lot of Doomsdays, but the Oracle's already in my hand. This Reanimate, if it was a Dark Ritual, I'd think about this. I'm gonna... Though, this does have the really interesting double fetch land thing. Oh, that's not actually interesting. Never mind. I was about to say I could make a pile that's mostly fetchable swamps and islands, and then Doomsday, fetch, Oracle from hand. And if they counter it, reanimate it. But I have to fetch the lands to cast the Doomsday, so that line doesn't work. I'm going to mulligan. Hard to believe these are the same deck. I am going to keep this one and put... Who goes to the bottom? I think it's Sethron. Sethron to the bottom. My plan is to Thoughtseize them and then draw some mana. Gotta kind of swing for the fences here, because playing normal doesn't work. Oh good, a blue-white control deck. 2 Supreme Verdicts. Those are tough to beat. Swords of Plowshares is the most devastating card in this hand, though. Vista, I'm sure we'll see the Ponder here. There it is. Come on, land. Grief. Okay. I can save this Grief for when it matters the most. I'm going to play Didgeridoo and just not Grief them. And if they drew a Force of Will in the meantime, I quit. Cycling the Lorien Revealed. I imagine we'll see Tundra. Yep. Come on, Dark Ritual. Troll of Khazad-dûm. We take those. Cycle it. Get the Badlands, which unlocks the Faithless Looting, which is still not a good card, but if it gets me to land number 3 here, we'll take it. Sethron and another Didgeridoo. Alright, put back the Didge, and knowing their hand has 2 Supreme Verdicts is some bullshit. I think I actually have to bin the Battle Shaper. Zethron is at least 2 creatures, so spot removal can't just pick me off forever. And I'm going to have to get through these verdicts no matter what I do. Another Lorien Reveal. This is going to be another Tundra. Yep. They're just getting their mana under them for Supreme Verdict. And they're passing the turn. Come on, land. Okay, Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual actually rips here. I can hardcast a Grief. And that's an actual creature. Oh no. Alright. Or they could have Spell Pierce. Never mind. Yeah, hardcasting Grief would have discarded one of the verdicts and put a creature into play that they had to answer. Mountain. They have like any threat here. I'm in trouble. 4th Aerolingus. Yeah, that qualifies. Okay, I'm done. They did it. Pyroblast comes in here. Shieldred comes in here. Soulguide Lantern once again comes out. That's been a dead slot for the entire league. No fault of its own. I mean, there's pairings where it would have been the all-star of the league. And Boros Battle Shaper, we can trim on those. That is not really what this matchup's about. Okay, run it. Pyroblast, Dig, and Minotaur, keep. Plenty of lands to make the game happen with. I'm in. I'm just gonna have bad lands and pass. I can protect the Dig next turn with Pyroblast. Not gonna be Pyroblasting Ponders. The issue here is Prismatic Ending. I'm more worried about that than anything else. Didgeridoo, get in there. Please force this, please force this. Give me a good exchange. For once in my life, once in my cursed Minotaur life. Yeah, they forced it. Counter target spell if it's blue. Ka-chow. They would have never forced that in their life if they had a Prismatic Ending. Don't touch the planes right now. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to freak out. Rest in peace. Okay. Wrong half of the deck. Suddenly the right half of the deck. Hello, reanimate. I'm going to fetch an Underground Sea and pass here. Go for that sneaky end step Neheb, and then Wheel of Fortune myself into a playable grip. As if Swords to Plowshares doesn't already completely dumpster me. Okay, what do we got here? Fairy Time Raveler. That one's actually fine. Bouncing the Dig, I can activate it in response, put in Neheb. And joke's on you, my deck doesn't play instance anyway. Okay, Neheb's in here. Ooh, Morog. How do I leverage this best? I think I just hit with Neheb this turn. Yeah, because they bounced my Dig, I could have Diged in the Morog and then fetch land for multiple attacks. But I'm going to have to wait a turn. And I'm going to attack them. Attack your face so I can get the wheel. I'm going to discard the Badlands and the Reanimate. Just 2. Okay, I found a Grief. That means I can cast Grief with my bonus mana here. Hopefully strip a Supreme Verdict out of their hand. Surgical Spell Pierce. I don't give a shit. I'll take the Spell Pierce. The Caracas is kind of a beating. And I'll replay the Didgeridoo and sandbag the land. Okay. I get 3 combats next turn for 4, then 5, then 6. That is lethal if they only have Caracas to save them. Rainstorm. Another excellent draw from a desperate position. They were in check, and now they are doing interesting stuff. Yeah, that Caracas is really good, though. Cannot deny it. I hope they just use it right now. Cool thing about Morog is that he is a static ability. Each creature you control gets +1/+4 for each time it's attacked this turn. That's not a trigger. So I can attack here, and then after they bounce Neheb, I can put in Morog, and then Grief is lethal. At least I hope that's true. I hope that's how this works. And I hope they didn't brainstorm into Swords to Plowshares. Okay. You're taking 4. Come on! Ugh! I can never have anything. My life is pain. The creatures don't gain haste or anything. Now I think I'm actually just hardlocked by the Caracas. Nightmare Fuel. Actual Nightmare Fuel. Opponent couldn't just draw a land one time in this entire league. Okay, let's try to dig out of it, I guess. They're fetching with Flooded Strand. They've certainly brainstormed away that Surgical Extraction. I don't need to keep track of that anymore. Backup Dig. That doesn't matter. My hand is actually so bad that I'm fine casting Faithless Looting right now. Thoughtseize is good. Does this matter? Is my Pithing Needle in? Do I have any out to this Caracas? I basically have to put in 2 Minotaurs on the same turn to overload the Caracas. My Needle's not in. Yeah, I think the actual land drop's going to serve me better than the Dark Ritual long term here. Thoughtseize you. They still have this Surgical? Why? Why? You cast a Brainstorm and you cracked a fetch land. Why? You Rest in Peace in play. Why is that card in your hand? It varies up to 4. It can bounce to draw another card next turn without leaving play. Oh, they're cracking a fetch right away. Did they draw some playable card? I don't know what that's like. Urza Saga. Sweet relief. Something to actually do with my mana. Let's go. They could bounce the Saga with Teferi, because Caracas has the Minotaurs under control. But temporary stopgap. The Teferi is bouncing Saga. I'm not going to float mana because it doesn't matter. I'm not going to give them the chance to sorcery speed remove one of these Minotaurs. I'm going to make them bounce it with Caracas. Monastery Minotaur. Oh no, they have a win condition. End step. I'm going to put in Neheb. This one has Trample. In Morog's better, but it doesn't matter. They're all getting bounced. Oh, is it time to pivot? Is it suddenly time? I can start the pivot on a fetch land. That's 1 fewer card in the deck right away. All right, Polluted Delta, Doomsday. Oh, my Faithless Looting's already gone. What does this do? Does this do anything? I draw a card, that's 4. I fetch, that's 3. I guess I Doomsday here anyway, because like this puts me to 10 life versus Monastery Mentor, which I'm not excited about. I should have definitely waited on my land drop here. Now I don't have Saga in play, and I was about to say if they force, then I'm just not doing anything instead of doing something. But okay, that's a Lorien revealed out of their hand. Happy to see that go. And next turn, I can put 2 Minotaurs into play on the same turn versus Caracas. Mentor is bashing, and I think I do fetch here, just trying to draw spells. Thoughtseize, okay. I can put 2 Minotaurs in on their turn, and then they bounce one of them. Then I can Thoughtseize them and put it back in. And if I draw a fetch land, I get multiple combats out of that whole exchange. Teferi's back up to 3. Played out Prismatic Vista. They are fearlessly attacking. I'm going to put in my Minotaurs. Here's Neheb. And they bounce Neheb. And then 1 card left in hand. It's probably Swords of Plowshares, or else why did they take this line? If that's true, do I continue putting in the worst Minotaur, or do I put in the better one and just hope they messed up? And I think Trample is still the better Minotaur. Yep. Of course. I could have Thoughtseize that, but then I can't out-muscle the Caracas. Maybe I deserve that. They are back to empty, though, and I'm still holding Morog. Actual Hellbent at this point. The second Saga is good. All right, now we're doing stuff. This might still happen. They're bouncing my Saga. I will make a construct. It's a mighty 2/2. Teferi, the oppressive boot of Teferi is off my neck. And then they're attacking. They're not attacking, okay. I am going to dig out the Morog. There it is. It's better in play than not in play. Sethrun, hello. And because they bounced me, I have a land drop to make. Thoughtseize, please don't plow in response. Supreme Verdict, Force of Will. Hello, hello. You're saying there's a chance. Okay, if I attack, I have a 3-power attacker. Okay. I am going to start by just going to combat. Save my land drop. Oh, wow. They did this in the first main. It's not even combat. Does that matter? I'm not sure if that matters. Okay, I'm still going to attack for 2. They should probably double block this. Oh, no block at all. Okay. I have to Morog first if I'm going to get the land drop. Like, I lose a Minotaur this way. If I Sethrun first, I would get an extra Minotaur, but I'd lose a combat step. Okay, here we go. Untap the homie. And he gets to attack for 4 now. And attack for 3. Or for 4 now. Now we're going to see the double block. Oh no, they just want to go to 2. All right. Sethrun. I think Sethrun's going to overload them if they don't draw something real good next turn. Just the extra tokens and the menace. That was a really greedy turn. Then no attacks, and continue overloading the Caracas here. Sethron, Hurloon General, Bring a Friend. I can sink a ton of mana to this. We won a game! We won a game! Count it. Alright. Opponent knows about Doomsday now. They brought in Rest in Peace and Surgical, which means Reanimate's a lot worse than I want it to be. If this game's going to be slow and grindy and they have Teferis and Mentors, maybe Fury and just get to 5 mana is a reasonable plan. Hitting Needle on Caracas, something that I had not considered, but probably necessary. I can fully cut Reanimate and just let them have a bunch of dead cards in their deck. That does make Grief worse. I think that's okay. Alright, yeah, I'm just in the sauce now, trying to solve this matchup, and Reanimates are out, no dead draws. For me. Several for you. This is a turn 1 Nethead if I want it. More likely I'm just going to slow down and protect it with Pyroblast. Keep my hand. Opponent mulliganed. Yeah, they're scared. Running scared. 6 cards over there. Flooded Strand pass. Grief. Okay, I can Grief on turn 2 and protect it with Pyroblast if I want to. I think I'm just going to go slow and steady, messing with their hand, play as safe as possible this entire time. That's how last game ended up being won. They've got a ton of removal. They got Spell Pierces and little shit like that. I will not be Pyroblasting a Ponder. I will be Pyroblasting a Force of Will on my Grief next turn. Or a Spell Pierce on my Dark Ritual. I'd rather not use the Lotus Petal next turn, but I will, if I have to. And I'm not going to fetch, because I do want more lands to be in my deck. Does this work? It does. Yeah, okay, cool. Just had to make sure my colors were correct, but Lotus Petal gives you whatever you want. Badlands, Urza Saga. This does expose me to Teferi in a way I'm not super stoked about, but I think it's fine. Dark Ritual, Grief. Please force it, please force it, please force it. Fetching in response. Ooh, this could be Heroic Pyroblast, actually. I am going to do this. I'm not going to let them hide their good cards. I'm not going to let them dig. If they were just digging for force, I would be into that. But if they had just cantripped, Dress Down and Mentor. I mean, this hand is bad. I'm going to take the Mentor. I think Mentor can snowball me harder than Dress Down can. Dress Down's a cantrip and messes up my Saga a little bit. I'm actually going to let them keep the Mentor, which I might regret. Who am I? Disrespecting Monastery Mentor like this, but the Urza Saga is part of my plan right now. And I hope that aggressive Brainstorm pays dividends. My Furies are in my deck for this Mentor. We planned for this. Keep fetching basics. If they suddenly back to basics me from the top rope, that would be annoying. Hitting Needle, cool. Attack for 3. I'm ready for Caracas now. Prismatic Vista. Second Mentor, oh no. We are dead to the first Ponder they draw. There's no good deals here. End a turn, make a construct. Go to my turn, I drew a land. Thank Merciful Poseidon for that. Make another construct. They're fetching in response. Oh, just playing around Needle on their land. That's fair. Lotus Petal and Didgeridoo are the only cards because the Needle's already in my hand. I guess I get the Petal. And then Polluted Delta. Fetch for Badlands. And I'm going to Pitting Needle. What? Caracas? Maybe I'm more worried about Teferi Time Raveler. Yeah, Teferi clearing a construct from this board and drawing a card are all things I'm not interested in occurring right now. Attacking. Big beats. Next turn, these constructs are 5/5s. Please don't get out of this right now. This is it. No! Like I said, the first Ponder they draw is going to kill us, because Ponder makes 2 creatures, and then the Ponder's going to find something that makes 2 more creatures. I've played Monastery Mentor enough in my life to know how this goes. Let's see a shuffle, and then you end up with a land. That would be great. Did not shuffle. Yeah, we're fucked. Yeah, this is how this goes. Now they Brainstorm. If they find a Swords to Plowshares, they get 2 more creatures and make my army smaller. Grief Menace just doesn't even matter anymore. Prismatic Vista, 1 card left in hand. And the only saving grace here is that they are operating on low resources. Prismatic Ending, shit. Okay, I mean, they're back to Hellbent, but my My Prismatic End is here, and they're about to crack for 10. Tough beats. All right, how about Fury? Pyroblast, right on time. Would have loved to counter that Ponder last turn. They have 6 monks. I need them to have literally 0 spells, and then commit with an attack to with everything, and then be dead on the backswing. Well, they didn't shuffle the Brainstorm when they could have, so we've lost. Oh, no attack. They are a coward, if I do say so myself. Okay, putting in Neheb and Doomsday. Neheb is a Trampler and Grief. Do I just send everything in if my opponent is a big wuss? I think I just send Neheb. Yeah, the Trample is going to be huge here. Putting the full 5 blockers, every blocker that they have is in front of this thing now. Okay. Combat damage? Do you have a spell? Nope, just... That was like drawing Fury. And I'm worried that their hand is Force of Will, because they didn't shuffle Brainstorm and then didn't play their card. I think I have to go for the Doomsday here. It's not getting better if we wait. I wish this was any Minotaur instead of Doomsday. Yeah, they have the Force. It just gives them 2 more creatures. And I can't Pyroblast it back. I actually don't want Doomsday to resolve now, because if I'm at 3, I'm just dead. Okay, let's hope the opponent continues not drawing spells and continues being a wuss about combat. Just draw a land past the turn. Draw a land past the turn. Okay, they passed the turn. Come on, Minotaur. Any Minotaur. I will play the Bloodstained Mire. Am I going to play the Bloodstained Mire? No, I'm actually not. If I draw Faithless Looting, I need garbage to discard. Uh-oh, they drew a spell. Rest in peace. And that wouldn't matter if there wasn't 2 Monastery Mentors in play, but there are, and now we lose. We beat 1 Mentor here pretty easily. That second one was a good one that they found right away. And now are you still going to be scared in combat? Respect the Didge? Nope. All right, yeah, we're just dead. Okay. That concludes the DidgeriDoomsday experiment. We did, obviously, did not win a single match. That might have been predictable, but we did put every single opponent in check. Every single opponent in this league I presented lethal to at least once, and they wiggled their way out of it. And we did win a game. Can't take that off me. This was not the perfect O10. That still never happened on the channel. Obviously, if you just commit to one of these plans, it's going to be better. Like, Doomsday doesn't need any help with you being told that it's a good deck. But even the Didgeridoo stuff was pretty cool if you support it in more interesting and meaningful ways, like with Force of Will, perhaps. I have gone undefeated on this channel, the perfect 10-0, with Hornstill, Didgeridoo Standstill. That's a thing that happened in the past. I believe we made a valiant effort out of this. I think played pretty tight. Opponents ripped pretty hard, and it just came a little short multiple times. In a parallel universe, this was a solid 2-3 finish. But Avocado, thank you for sending me this. This is my one completely preposterous deck for the year. Reached my quota. Back to decks that can win, starting tomorrow. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Pre-order your BoshNRoll shirt from coalesceapparel.shop. Check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.